Central today. We are joined by myself, Big Ev, Clemmer, and Smitty. Trade deadline is in 6 hours.
Yes.
And it's been quiet this morning. Like Soler went.
That was last
night.
Yep.
It's been quiet this morning.
Do you guys like it better when it was trade deadline was midnight or
Midnight?
I remember as a kid just watching baseball tonight and getting ready for like the Phillies to trade for Andy Pettitte, and then nothing would ever happen. But it was still exciting.
We were like hanging on every word Peter Gammon said. Like, oh yeah.
I need something bigger to happen today.
I think something will happen.
I think we'll get it. I think Snell probably gets moved. I think we'll get a few.
Well, they basically said that they're moving him. They didn't say that they're moving him, but they said they're moving him by moving Soler.
It's looking a lot better.
Is like acupuncture?
Yeah, that was a shocking picture.
Wow, they're just needles in your fucking face, your head. Feels good though. It actually doesn't hurt at all.
Good.
Only two of them I even felt. The one in like the middle of my forehead and the one in my left hand.
Did they say it was going to help?
Yeah.
The camera. Ev is talking about his face. You should put the camera on his face.
I don't think they're listening to us today.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think it gets a little. I think it's gotten a little better. I think it helped a little bit. Range of motion. I can feel like my eyebrow can move a little bit.
The boy.
I'm going once a week.
It's funny, like your speech is like 98% really good, and then every once in a while you'll completely like say a word wrong. Like, but your speech is so much better than it was last week.
Yeah, no, it's definitely getting better. It's getting better.
But yeah, trade deadline is today.
Vladdy too. I think Vladdy gets moved.
I don't at all.
I don't think
they should. He absolutely should. He's not going to.
And you want to know what? You want to know where I think he's going? I think Houston snakes their way into him.
Oh my God, that would be stunning because right now the Blue Jays are focused on guys like IKF, like these like small parts. They as far as I know, as far as I heard, they have not talked about any of the big guys, which makes no sense. No sense.
Vladdy's been hitting too.
The team's going nowhere. They're wasting it. And he's only available with that team for one more year, and then he's a free agent. You got to trade him now. I don't know.
You never know. I feel like there's always like one or two that you don't expect that end up.
I hope so. That'd be wild.
Maybe.
So who are the big guns that would consider be like a really big, like noteworthy trade that is realistic right now? Snell, Vladdy.
Vladdy's not real. Yeah, Vladdy's I would say not realistic, but you Scooble.
I would say Vladdy's realistic.
All right.
Ish.
Okay.
Just because they're not.
I just haven't heard of it.
Because they're. Yeah, well, maybe. This is just a wild concept. Maybe GMs, some of them, are holding things close to the vest and not publicly putting stuff out there so Chris Clemmer can have that information.
I hope you're right, but so far every name we've seen has been someone that's been rumored.
Soler rumored?
Yeah.
That much?
Yeah.
Hey, Paredes wasn't rumored.
Yes,
to
he
the
was.
Cubs.
No, that's the Cubs, but he was rumored though. Every name has been rumored. I mean, I'm not trying to be like shitty here.
I understand.
It's like I
love when Clemmer does the "I'm not trying to be shitty" as his condescending voice comes.
Okay. Oh, all right.
I have to be with this guy because he'll just say crazy shit.
I don't think that's that crazy saying that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. could be traded.
He should be traded. It's frustrating to me that he's not.
Again, I don't think it's that crazy to say that Vladimir Jr.
All right.
could be traded.
If he is, I will.
Screwball? Probably not at this point.
Flaherty's almost definitely.
I mean, Flaherty's not like a big game changer.
No.
Just
He's saying big names.
Yankees. I think Mason Miller would be a big punch. I think Rooker would be because it's only because he would go to like a really good team.
And he's hitting the hell of the ball. A Crochet.
I was like Crochet. Or if
Crochet
Robert ends up going,
ruined everything. Though.
See, Nightingale. Now take that with a grain of salt. Again, tweeted out that they are not going to be trading Luis Robert Jr.
That's like me tweeting it out at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Nightingale are the same. But I was listening to Ken Rosenthal a little bit about Crochet. He really did fuck up a couple things.
Oh yeah. They're so pissed at him right now.
He said that like some teams are still like a lot of teams bailed, and then some teams are still in. But like the White Sox have to be so angry at him right now, or his agent. Like that's an insane thing to say. Like I get you want to get paid. Is he a free agent next year?
No, a year. So you get him for 2 years beyond this one.
It's like you wouldn't get an extension on the Tigers, right? You're not going to get. Like, you probably wouldn't be getting extended with them
on the Tigers.
White Sox.
I mean, White Sox. Sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, he's trying to leverage something.
$75 million. You know, they're not paying anyone else. So like, you might as well go to a good team, play well, and then get your chance to be a free agent, or they'll extend you. Like you saying I need to get extended. I get what you mean. Everyone wants like some security, and he thinks he deserves it. Or he's probably like, this is the best I'm ever going to get.
Well, he's scared. He's scared of the innings limit because he's never really been a starter for a full season before. So he's like, listen, I will go and extend myself, but with that risk, I need some reward.
I just think that he really fucked things up.
Oh, the White Sox are furious with him. I mean, you don't even need to read between the lines by some of the quotes coming out from the GM, Chris Getz, and other people like, you're absolutely right, Marty. There's teams, I think, that have been scared off now, so now they're going to get less for him, but now they feel like they can't keep him because now if they do, then they're like bowing to his demands. He really put the White Sox in a tough spot.
I know. I saw it sounded like the Yankees bailed because of it.
Yeah, I would. I'm glad. I don't want him to like with that. Like you're already saying demands before you even get to a team is never good.
No, and the amount of the type of capital you have to give up to get him.
Yeah.
And then he's not even going to promise you to pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah, like fuck that.
I mean, he tanked his value.
I'm good on him.
Have we ever heard that from a player before? No, we heard that from an organization.
Matt Harvey.
Strasburg. Oh, yeah, Matt Harvey.
He backed off.
Yeah.
And he backed off of it. Yeah. That's
I just feel like Crochet would have, because I think we said, how is he going to go in that clubhouse and have any respect?
Yeah.
If he's going to walk in, because obviously any team that's going to trade for him is a winning team, you would imagine, you would assume. He's going to go in there and say, you know what? I'm good in September.
He's going
everyone's gonna say, "Go fuck yourself." You think that team's gonna give you an extension after that? Fuck no.
He is going. He's going about it the absolute wrong way.
Horrible.
But I kind of get where he's coming from, though.
No, of course you do, but that's just not how it works.
No,
you know, like everyone wants that security, and like you're gonna extend yourself. You deserve more money. Blah blah blah. It's just not how the world works. It's just not how baseball works right now, and you seem like a pussy.
But one thing about Ev, like what Ev was saying, though, imagine if you're on this team, you've been playing for 110 games, busting your ass, you're in first place, you're doing it together. This new guy comes in and says, you know what? Yeah, you guys have been killing it, but I'm good in October.
Do you think he was scared? Do you think he's scared by kind of what happened with Snell and Montgomery this offseason?
Very.
I think that played a factor.
Yeah,
I don't.
Of him not willing to kind of bet on himself. Because I feel like previously we've seen guys like starting pitchers. Listen, starting pitchers have had some, like, you have your ups and downs, good seasons, bad seasons, but a guy that with his upside and younger guy, you'd think almost not no matter what happens the next 2 years, but if he can even be, like, solid over the next 2 years, like, he's going to get a big contract, you'd think.
I think it's more to do with the fact that he's really scared he's going to blow his arm out.
How old is he?
I don't know about that. Ev just brought up a great point. I mean,
But he's 3 years away from free agency.
Let's not lose the forest through the trees here. This is all a Scott Boras issue. He fucked everything up last year by going in the offseason, promising these guys huge contracts, which they never got because the owners for the MLB finally grew some balls.
Well, I disagree with that. No, they're cheap and they colluded and they're crooks.
Okay, wrong description there for me. They finally became more
devious and colluding. Yeah, I mean,
fair, but it's realistic though.
Because I see from his point of view where he sees Snell just won the fucking Cy Young.
Exactly.
And he can't get like a $200 million contract.
Montgomery just led him to led a team to the World Series.
Let me ask you guys a question, though. Let me ask you guys a question. So Boras asked, like, he fucked up completely, right?
Absolutely. Those two guys in particular, yes.
Fucked them up. Snell is pitching a lot better now.
Who's Crochet's agent? Do we know?
I don't know.
Let me see.
I don't think
it's not Boras.
So yeah, I think we would know.
I believe it's Wasserman Group. I could be wrong.
It's CAA.
Okay, there we go. Good job, Clemmer.
Do you think do you think the owners were a little right to not to pay Montgomery $150 million when he's been awful? Like, do you think they feel validated now? I know because he got a late start and they fucked him up, I think. But like, do you think that thank God we didn't pay $150 million for that guy?
Maybe, but it goes back to more of Clemmer's point of them being devious. It wasn't the players that they were trying to screw over. It was Scott Boras that they were trying to save.
100%.
And like the
ended up screwing over the players.
But I think that
and the mentality and the philosophy and the power that players have. The owners hate that.
I think because also Boras was trying to get him overpaid.
Boras had everybody by the balls for like 20 years.
Well, and he
did the first A-Rod contract.
30 years.
He also just
no, I'm saying like since the '94 strike, he's everyone by the balls.
Ohtani and
A-Rod. I mean, go through the list. I mean, you go through.
Does he have the other guy who went to the Dodgers? Yamamoto. Didn't he have him too?
I think he did, right?
So he did.
No, Boras was not Yamamoto.
But Ohtani was.
Yes. No, neither was Ohtani.
Oh, Ohtani wasn't?
No, Ohtani's was CAA.
Oh.
So.
Okay,
yeah,
then I take all that.
So Ohtani's his translator?
A lot of translators are getting fired this year. His Suzuki's got fired in the middle of the year.
The largest contract Boras has got for a client, I believe, is still Bryce. Did what, 330?
Yeah.
Or Trey? Wait, no, Trey wasn't Is Trey a Boras guy?
He might be.
Trey Turner.
I expect every big
Surprised
person
me. Yeah,
to be
I
a Boras guy.
just thought everybody was. But Brian, I mean, the ironic thing about that, pretty team-friendly deal.
I'll say that Juan Soto's a Boras guy. He's going to have the biggest contract of everyone not named Ohtani this winter.
course.
So Boras will be the king again.
Yep.
And it's not going to be because like that. I just think he really overestimated like his power with the owners and stuff. And you're right. I think it was against them. But also what I'm saying is now like, did we want to pay Montgomery that much?
This is what they want you to think, man. They did it because
He's
now they can
been
point to
horrible.
this and they can be like, "See, these guys are overpaid. Like this is what the owners want." Meanwhile, the revenue these owners make is so much money. Like they're all pocketing this money. And like where are teams like the Rays and the A's? What are they doing with the money? Just going right back in the owner's pocket. It's fucking wild.
So I actually saw. I want to go back to baseball, but I saw Matthew Judon on a podcast or at a show, whatever it was, and he was talking. He's like, because do you see that clip that he got in a fight with Mayo yesterday and then left? He's like holding out for a contract, and they got into a little like verbal fight, and he left. And he was on a podcast. I don't know when he said it, but he was talking. He's like, we have the most cap in the league right now. And he's like, that money, I know you have to allocate it to different players and use it smart. He's like, I'm just asking to be like appreciated. And like that money's not going back in their pocket, the cap money. He's like, it's just there. Why aren't you giving me some of the money? And it's just got to be frustrating for a guy like Judon, who's been one of the Patriots' best defenders.
It
Off
is,
an
but you
injury,
also
32
don't.
years old.
Yeah,
He's probably wanting like a fucking bag.
No,
Still
but
has
you have to
he got
think
a
about
bag
that, though.
first of all.
no, I know. I'm saying coming off an injury wants an extension.
Yeah, and that's his right, and he's being smart
He's
about it.
living your best defensive player, I think.
Right. I'm just saying.
But I get
I get why we wouldn't want to pay him right now.
Well, because you want to keep that salary cap money open just in case
Right.
anything else opens up.
He's talking like a non-GM.
Exactly.
Well, he's talking like a player where he's like, I've been the best player on this team for how long now? Just give me some money. And you have to see. I think you can see both sides.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think that he handled it like appropriately. I think that like the way that he went into practice and in probably the first tiff of the new regime to like try to handle it that way, and like didn't seem like he was scared of like Elliot Groh or like Elliot Wolf or Matt Groh or Mayo. I don't know. I didn't like the way he handled it. And then to go on to like a podcast and like it's like you got to fight for your money, but I don't know. I don't really want to give him
I
a
think
bag.
it has to be a little bit of I think sometimes players feel disrespected by teams. You know, like about what I know. What did he get paid last time? Do you remember?
It was a bag.
Yeah, it was a bag.
It was a bag.
I mean,
And he could have just been. I didn't hear the clip. He could have just been shooting the shit.
Because not obviously.
Also, I listened to the clip, and it could have been more like I respect the team after this. You have no idea, but I watched the clip, obviously.
He got hurt this year, but didn't the year before he had the most sacks in the league? He was up there,
He
top
was
like
unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
top few in
incredible.
the league in sacks.
Yeah, and then
He's definitely been by far probably their best like football player. Period.
then he would log off and play Warzone with me and White Sox Dave.
We're
So
also gonna have to pay Christian Gonzalez like a.
Oh yeah, he was a big.
But
game time.
Gonzalez was a rookie.
Great.
just last
He's a
year.
great dude. He's
Right,
so
you don't have to pay
But
him
I'm saying,
for
I-
minimum
I-
2 more, like max
I think they're
2 more
looking at it
years.
from like I think they're looking at it from like a year away, year two away perspective.
But they could give him like a 2-year extension, and it wouldn't like if it's 2 years, it wouldn't even
I-
get to Gonzalez's next contract.
Look, all I'm saying is if they're not giving him like a little bit of like money, I think I personally am looking at it as he's asking for way too much.
But if
they're
I'm
not
he
willing to pay
asking
him.
for?
if you're a Patriots fan and they have money on the cap, like that they have kind of just sitting there, and you're not spending it, the team isn't very good. Like, aren't you a little frustrated?
No.
Why?
You
then?
don't know. You don't know if they're gonna
Yeah.
need that money for somewhere else.
This year.
If you trade,
Yeah, you
there's
don't know.
still,
Like it could be a trade.
yeah,
could
like
be anything.
what if Ayuk becomes available and then all of a sudden we want to sign him to a deal? Then it's like, oh shit, we paid Matthew Judon, 32 years old.
but like Ayuk's not coming to the Patriots.
No, but remember, but you don't know. You don't. You just don't know.
All right, it's signed, sealed, delivered.
Like,
No, but
as a GM
Come
of a
on, man. Like, you think he's going to go? You think the Patriots going to give up draft picks when they're rebuilding for a guy that's like an older player? Like,
Remember,
that's not going to happen.
as a GM
He's not old, but like he's like
He's still on his rookie deal.
they're accumulating draft picks. Like, they're not going to trade for a guy that's going to help them. Like, when does that happen?
They already tried to trade for Ayuk.
And it didn't work out. Do you think the Patriots? Do you really think the Patriots are going to trade between now and the season ending? They're going to. No, I'm asking you.
Well, there's a trade deadline.
Okay, trade deadline. They're going to. Let me just finish my sentence here before I get interrupted like 9 different times. You think the Patriots are going to use that cap space between now and the end of the season on a player, or is that just going to end up sitting there? Like, realistically, a lot of NFL moves have already happened, like the draft and the free agency periods are already over. Like, very few teams make giant moves between now and the Super Bowl.
But realistically, say the Patriots are what, plus 8,000 to win the AFC East or whatever they are, probably not making the playoffs this year.
Right.
What if there was a team like, I don't know, you have a big salary cap guy that you just want to dump and get rid of and exchange picks and give it to the Patriots as a salary cap move?
Right.
That is not that unheard of.
It's not crazy, but it also doesn't happen very often.
But it happens.
When?
Didn't it just happen last year with the Commanders and the Bears?
They absorbed a ton of bad salaries,
With Montez Sweat.
but that's like a player they have to understand.
Well, that was more. They just knew they weren't giving Sweat a contract.
Or he's a
already
32-year-old,
invested in the deal.
possibly still very productive player coming off injury. Why would you give him more money right now when you want to trade him later in the season for value and draft picks and cause a more salary cap disruption by just adding more money to him?
Here's my overall point. What's more likely? The Patriots finish the year with a ton of salary cap space?
That wasn't your overall point.
That is it's exactly my point. I think that money's just going to end up sitting there. That's my whole point.
My whole
I don't
point
think they're going to spend that money. That is my overall point.
I don't think you should just spend money because you want to spend money. Like, I don't really want to spend too much money on Matthew Judon right now.
Like a GM.
He's an older player. That's fair. I mean, that's
Like,
fair.
it's 32. Like, again, like he's 32. I fucking love Judon.
He's great.
He's one. On any other like different era of the Patriots, I'd be talking about him as like down with like Gilmore and everything, just one of the Patriot like greats as just a defensive product player. But again, 32-year-old defensive
that's
player
fair.
coming off an injury.
How many more years does he have left? In
I
his
don't know.
contract?
32 is like a weird age to kind of come off like the injury that he's having. And again, like we don't know how much he's asking for.
That's the thing.
He could be downplaying it to the public, so then like the Patriots fans on Twitter get like all riled
I
up.
actually don't think he's asking for too much. I think he probably understands. He's probably like, this is where like I deserve the respect. I think that's where it comes down to too. Like he thinks he deserves respect from the team that he's played for how long and played great. But I think he can't be that insane of asking for so much of the cap.
I also think dummies pay for respect. Just because,
no, I don't think so.
You don't pay a guy just to just because you respect him.
I don't think we're.
You're absolutely right.
I don't think it depends. It depends on
Pay
how
on
much you're
talent,
asking,
don't pay on
though.
respect.
Well, the talent's still there. That's.
You're saying you don't know that, though.
Yeah,
Oh, you do know.
No, you don't.
Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
I think you're throwing the guy in the trash over.
Yeah, just because he tore something like he's not. You don't know. You do know. Judon's been one of the best fucking linebackers.
One of the best defensive players in the league.
Defensive player there is. Like you can't just say no. He's terrible now. You could say he's getting older for sure, but I don't think he's asking for another huge bag. He's probably just asking for a little bit more.
I would think he's asking for, in terms of like years, like per year, he's honestly got to be asking for like 25.
Well, he's coming off he's in the final year of a 4-year, $56 million contract.
That was a bargain they got him on.
And right, so now
For example,
so he is under contract for this year, which is kind of frustrating too.
Set like the scene. I mean, the DNs right now, like the Giants gave Brian Burns like 28, 29. That's what like high level production like DNs, edge rushers are getting 25 to 30 a year. So I've got to imagine that's the ballpark of what he's asking. And if this is the last year of his contract, you said, Clemmer?
Yes, that's what it is. So
that makes sense. Why? Like if he had another like 2 years left, I'd be like, why you ask for an extension? If he's going into like a lame duck season, where at the end of this year he's a free agent, I don't blame him asking for an extension.
He should be asking for a contract extension. That's not like what I have the issue with. It's more if you pay him a fucking bag and he's not the same player, we're gonna look back and be like, why the fuck did you pay a 32-year-old injury, like someone coming off an injury? Why'd you pay him a fucking shit ton of money? And now it's
the problem is you guys having him on your team. You guys suck. You know, you guys suck right now, and you're not in contention for a Super Bowl. So I do understand not paying him right now. He's not the guy to get you to rebuild with. You know?
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I firmly believe like we're like we're a year or two away.
My whole point was that the Patriots have
I
43.
respect that brain of yours.
Yeah, the Patriots have $43 million in cap space.
Year away?
I think that was generous.
No, I legitimately think we are.
1 year away.
I think we could be 1 year away from playoffs.
Let him think.
One year away
It's
on.
not that crazy.
One
The Houston
year-
Texans went
Hey,
from fucking the
he didn't
second
say-
draft pick to playoff contenders. Now people think
Dukes
they
did not say
win the Super
one.
Bowl.
had more.
Dukes did not say 1 year away on Earth. Could have been Neptune.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, it's not like the craziest thing. Everyone was
little
down.
crazy.
Everyone was down on the Texans last year. Everyone thought they could have the worst record in the NFL. They make the playoffs. Now people are talking about them winning the Super Bowl.
They might be the exception, not the rule, though.
What about the Panthers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the Panthers.
There's a lot of
For
teams.
sure, but I don't. Look, I think even last year we were better than the Panthers.
I mean, I think almost any team
Right,
ever was better than the Panthers. A lot of them.
There's stuff to like about the Patriots. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're so fucking going to win the Super Bowl, but there's stuff to like.
Dukes, I want to hear your thoughts on this. A little hot take out of Philly today. If Nick Sirianni struggles with the Eagles,
Yeah, I know.
They start like 1-2, 1-3. Apparently, Belichick is
He's
ready.
right there.
So just slide right in.
There's 3 teams that Belichick's eyeing right now. Can you guess which 3?
I mean, Cowboys,
Dallas.
Eagles,
And there's one more.
Giants.
Oh, even the Giants. Yeah, I was going to gotta be
The Giants for
in
sure.
history.
But
Gotta be.
there's one more team in the AFC.
Jets? He said he hates the Jets. He would never go there. I don't
Buffalo
know.
Bills.
Oh, yeah. That would fit.
The Bills are going to be good this year, so they don't need them.
Are you mad that the Patriots
Patriots are
have?
good, but they're good every year with Sean McDermott and like.
Dermott was on the hot seat middle
Yeah.
last, and then they ended the season incredibly well, and he was back off it.
Are you mad the Patriots have $43 million in cap space they haven't used? Or no, you're okay with that because you're saving. Like I said, if the season ends and they haven't used that,
I
you're
just don't want you to-
frustrated.
I think that I look at a player like Juju, right? That we had cap space, we got him, he sucks. I don't think you should just spend money to spend money.
Well, that's different.
But it's better than not spending it.
Juju has never. Juju
Maybe?
is a stupid sign.
Yeah, I mean,
that wasn't like he.
Also, that was
Mahomes
that was
made
more
him
just
do it.
bad front office. They literally, the Raiders gave Jacoby Myers literally
Yeah.
the identical contract, who was 10 times
I
better
don't know.
player.
Basically, every
was literally on their team
every
already.
receiver since Edelman has been a
I'm
disaster
not.
for
Look,
the
I'm not going to
Patriots.
pretend I'm sitting behind a piece of glass talking about like how a GM in the football should spend money. From my dumb brain, I just don't think you should spend money to spend money.
Smitty, how
Like,
you,
I don't know what it does if you spend money this year, how it affects next year.
sometimes
2
some
years from now.
contracts you have the dead. You don't want that, obviously. You
Right.
don't want the dead money. So
I'm more thinking that they could trade. We'll have to see how the receivers do, but I could definitely see that.
they
being-
just-
I love Smitty's like thought process of like, hey, sometimes you see it in baseball,
Right.
like
I don't know what their grand old plan is.
I'll take that prospect, but then I'll take on like the Tigers, for instance. Maybe you could attach like Javier Baez's shitty contract to Scooble or something. Like I like that idea of like throwing in a bad contract.
Meek, what are you trying to troll?
I mean, it's really bad news for the Eagles today out of practice.
Aaron Boone's there.
Yeah, Aaron Boone's there.
Aaron Boone's at Eagles practice?
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
At the playing the Phillies.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They're
Is
in
it-
town. I wonder who he's there with. Like, I wonder the connection.
you think he's giving them like motivational quotes? It's like it's right there in front of us, NFC East. We're right there.
I don't know, but as a astute baseball fan, which I thought you were, Aaron Boone's father was the catcher for the 1980 World Champion Phillies. So maybe he has connections there. You piece of shit.
Well,
Meek texted me last night. He's like, if you want to troll Smitty, and it was just like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
and I loved it. I just said, laugh my ass off.
try to have some fun on the
It was-
show.
Oh, I love the Meek side text.
Oh, but it was like it was kind of fun because the Yankees took over the Phillies stadium last night. So that was nice.
I talked to some people there. Like, they're not Yankees fan. I mean, it's a
Yank-
2-hour drive down 95.
The
What are you
Yankees,
gonna do?
but like that's not crazy. Like the Yankees,
I mean, it's just happening in every sport now.
that's the problem.
Knicks playoff games.
He was probably
Yankees-
Smitty. You're absolutely right. I bet he like, grew up in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's why he's an Eagles fan. That makes total sense.
5 minutes ago.
There you go.
No, but I'm thinking like he wasn't just the World Series catcher 80. He was there for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably grew up an Eagles fan.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean that's exactly like it's more than yeah. That makes total sense.
Exactly.
Still annoys me as a Yankees fan.
Really?
I just I hate like for example, like you see like what's like an example?
It annoys you.
Like
everyone went?
if Judge was just like an Eagles fan, it would annoy me.
So like Trout.
Hurts
Not a rival.
Hurts was wearing a
Like he's an angel. I'm saying like a
Astros hat during the World Series.
I can't imagine caring. honestly.
If like Juan Soto was like a Cowboys fan, I'd be like, you motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well,
give a
Cowboys are a
fuck.
little. I think you
Little
go rivals. It's a little tough. But if you're going like Hurts wore an Astros hat during the World
What about
Series.
Micah
Like,
Parsons?
for example, like I think coming up in a few weeks, the Yankees are doing like an Eli Manning bobblehead. Like I have a raging hard on. That crossover just gets me fired up.
What about
I love when like Jalen Brunson threw out the first pitch of the Yankees game. Fired up.
That was awesome.
Torqued up.
You like that?
I enjoyed that.
Loved it.
I mean, as a
I love when they rep like the whole city. Like even for example, on your like obviously you're not a Yankees fan, but like Roger, like or I'll tell you this way, like Roger's going to like the Rangers games.
Yeah.
Like that, I love that shit.
Matt Harvey used to go to the Rangers.
Like, I love that shit. I love that shit.
if you're a player, you 100%
Like Glaber and Nestor were going to a bunch of Knicks games and stuff. Like I love.
Yeah, that's
that
nice.
You
That's good.
should.
I
Do
guess
that
that's
as
me. It's
player.
like I'm all New York
Yeah.
pro sports fan.
Yeah.
I like when they all kind of like rally around each other. I appreciate that.
Do you think it's okay that Aaron Rodgers called it the New Jersey Jets?
Yeah.
Did you?
If I was a Jets fan, I wouldn't love it.
He's like
He also said the Giants.
He also did.
It's same difference.
It's not gonna like. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But
He
I feel
kind of
like-
did like what other fans do. That like the Giants don't even play in New York.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like he was just. I don't know. It was a weird clip of him saying that.
I don't
on
think
tape.
he sounded so like he said it with such affirmation, and
Yes.
that his opinion was the only opinion that mattered. Where, and I'm not even trolling. Like if I was a Jets fan, I'd be like, dude, you've been here for a cup of coffee, chill. Like you don't really have a say in this debate.
Did you guys listen to Golden Tate's clip?
No.
No, I missed Golden Tate's podcast clip.
Look up No, it's about the Giants. Look up Golden Tate's. Also, Dukes, you know like the little
meant to
Golden,
more. I meant
Golden
to
Tate's a huge, a
He's
big
Golden
name.
Tate's a name.
And you just acted like I said. You talk about Dayton and lacrosse on here. You're like, oh, I missed Golden Tate's thing.
Golden Tate's one of my
mean,
most hated Giants.
Yeah,
He sucked on
It
the
was horrible. So he was talking shit about the
sucked.
Giants. I wanted to listen to it with the fellas so we could hate him more.
That was unbelievable.
He was
on the
washed.
Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
Even then the Lions, he was a playmaker at least.
Notre Dame.
We lost a Thursday night football game to the Eagles, and then he tweeted at Darius Slade, it's like, oh, let's
my
play
last year
Warzone together.
was
It's like, you're supposed to hate that
During
guy.
the COVID year, my time with
doesn't
the Giants
exist anymore.
was
Yeah, Phil, that's not how the world works.
Well, I want it to work that
Yeah.
way.
Go back to 1986. It definitely worked that way.
my time with the Giants was interesting. My last year was during the COVID year, and that just sucked because we had to play just about every single game with no fans in the stadium. So it felt like a scrimmage. It sucked. And on top of that, I had one of the Patriots descendants come on over, Joseph Judge, who thought he could remake the wheel by trying to do everything like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and it did not fly. My time with the Giants was
I mean,
He's right.
Everything he said.
Yeah, he's right. I actually agree. I saw a lot of Giants fans saying something. And I was like, I didn't listen to it, but then he's right. Yeah,
He's right, but I still hate him.
I don't really care. But
It was more to just Joe Judge that tone, that cadence doesn't hit the same when you've won nothing.
Where is Joe Judge now?
He might have went to.
Not for the Patriots.
He's back,
Did he go back to the Patriots?
and he's staying.
I think he is.
I know he went back under Belichick, but he's still there.
No. Wow, this is.
Did he
Oh,
go,
he's
did he
at
go to
Ole Miss.
college?
Wow.
He's
He
an
was
Ole
offered.
Miss?
He was offered to come back to the Patriots,
I almost was going to say
but
Bama was
Patricia
ringing a bell
was.
for some reason.
Was that last year? I'm getting my years confused.
Last year, Patricia was
Right,
Bill
Judge
O'Brien's
was invited back last year, but Patricia wasn't. So now Joe Judge is with
BC.
Ole Miss.
BC.
Feel sorry for Mincy.
Actually, I'm about to. You asked me about Bill O'Brien. You already were the list crazy offseason he had. Ohio State hired him as the offensive coordinator. Then he left to take before he even obviously coached at all. Went to BC to take the head job, and then we got Chip Kelly. So I literally think we upgraded. I'd much rather Chip
Kelly.
Kelly's offensive coordinator.
You know that?
No.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I think it's gonna
Oh,
be great.
that's insane.
It's the first
gonna
time.
be
It's the
something.
first time we've never had an offensive coordinator under Day because Day always called the plays and runs the offense. So it's the first time he's handing over the keys, and he coached under Chip Kelly for years at New Hampshire. He was the Eagles quarterback coach when Chip Kelly was when Chip Kelly was there. So it's kind of So Chip Kelly's now the offensive coordinator. I think it's going to work great.
Phil, I have a question. I feel like your hatred for the Giants, you don't have the same hatred for the Knicks or for the Mets. You hate the Giants
He
players.
hates the
You
Giants.
hate the Giants.
Dave
He
Gettleman.
kinda hates the Mets.
I mean, I hate the team Dave Gettleman had for 4 years.
But
Dave Gettleman was the worst GM in the history of football.
but I let it go.
But do you feel?
Oh, I don't let it go. Dave Gettleman ruined my life for 4 years.
Do you feel you hate the Giants more than the other teams? Like you don't hate the Knicks have been horrible. Like for most of your life, you don't hate them
The
like this.
Mets, like the Mets have been
Super Bowl.
awful.
Only team that's given them happiness is the Giants.
Yeah.
No, I mean the Mets went to World Series at least.
That's not
Winning awards
happiness.
is-
I mean the Knicks have done shit. The Knicks have been
that's why.
horrible.
It's
I'm
fair.
agreeing with
Your points are fair. That's why I get so mad when he trashes the Giants so much.
Why the Giants have had so much more success.
I get it. Like we get it.
Yes, they
They've
had
been bad.
success, like,
they've
12.
They've been awful. We get it. All your teams have sucked your whole life. Like what are
Crazy.
you talking?
No.
about?
I actually
You've
think I
never
think-
won anything besides the Giants ever. Ever.
I think I got it.
did okay in the middle of that rant.
The Giants gave
Crazy.
the Giants let him taste happiness, and since the Giants let him taste happiness,
Yeah.
now it's like only disappointment that he can't handle.
I actually kind of agree with that. I
The
think
Giants
that-
even
like the Mets,
are-
he just knows misery.
Yeah.
The Giants even like a roller coaster ride. Like it's like the Giants.
There's no
in-
roller coaster. They start out 1-6 and then they just go back up.
Dude,
2 years ago, we were in the playoffs. 2 years ago.
That would be a roller coaster in theory if they went down and back up. I don't know if Meek's ever been on a roller
No.
coaster.
Literally
Knicks-
how roller.
He literally just he said that's not a
It's a
roller
shitty
coaster.
fucking roller
He said it's
coaster.
not a roller coaster and then described a roller coaster.
Have you ever been on a
Exactly how
roller
it
coaster,
works.
Meek?
goes down, then goes up.
The roller coaster really was more saying that like what I was gonna say is in our like someone like me, Marty, Meek's age, we've never seen the Giants be like the #1 seed.
No, ever.
Literally ever. We've just seen them win 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
When they won the division
It's
one
a
year,
wild
they were
card.
wild card one
They
year.
were number 1 seed in 2008.
Were they?
They were the first team to lose the home field
that's-
advantage in NFC
But I'm saying not. But like over, they've never really
because
had
it was against
like.
the Eagles. It was a big run to the Eagles.
That's right. I guess that is right. They were really good that year.
Meek, have you ever been
Most
on a
of our
roller
lives,
coaster?
they really have never
Yes,
been like
Marty.
this dominant.
What
team.
roller coaster?
I've been to Six Flags before.
Oh.
In the car?
Yeah.
You been on it?
Yeah.
It's a good ride. Best ride there, underrated. Nitro.
Oh, no, by far the best ride.
I want Phil to have some of that hatred he has for the
so
Giants for the
crazy.
Knicks.
This is so
That's all I'm asking. Hate the Knicks like you hate the Giants, Phil.
But the Knicks now, it's like now is not the time to hate the Knicks.
Yeah.
The time to hate the Knicks was like 5 years
Like
ago.
it's
not now.
You know, even last year, second round, you make it. Everyone,
was
everyone thinks you
I
have
mean,
a parade.
yeah, I didn't like the Knicks in that little gap. there.
Bullshit! All you do is talk up the Knicks. You were running around. You would have thought the Knicks
Yeah,
were the
that's
greatest
true,
thing. You're
that's
such a liar.
I mean, yeah, I tuned into the Langston Galloway games, but I mean, I didn't like the direction we
What's
were in.
this, Dukes?
Wait.
Knicks
I
playoffs.
I checked out there for the second. Meek, did you just say you're not a Knicks fan?
No, oh my God, Smitty. God. Fucking blockhead. Smitty, I did not love the 2015 Knicks as much as I love the 2023 Knicks. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it just seems like you don't ride with your team.
Yeah, I watched Langston Galloway and the guys win 16 games, whatever the fuck it was.
Wrong, Langston Galloway. Langston Galloway led a St. Joe's team to the Elite Eight. Spent like 10 years in the NBA.
I thought you were a Knicks fan, Phil. This is fucked up.
No, Phil.
I mean, I didn't like the direction we had with Phil Jackson. Derek Fisher was an awful head coach.
But, so
Jeff
you quit on the
Jeff
Knicks, but you
Hornacek
didn't.
is like the most forgotten head coach we've had.
You quit on the Knicks, but you don't quit on the Giants.
So
That's
the,
good.
the Giants did the same exact thing that the Knicks did this past year, 2 years ago. You know that, right?
They did not do that.
Yes, they did. They lost in the second round.
They did that 2 years in a row.
What?
He's saying the Knicks,
trying to mute himself.
the Knicks lost.
No, I just
the
switched the
Knicks
camera.
made it to the second round 2 years in a row. The Giants only made it one.
Okay, the first year of the Knicks, though, they were the same thing.
Nixon,
They
yeah.
It's also okay.
They did make the playoffs 2 years before that. They made it 3 of the last 4.
But it was
years.
also a different vibe. It's like, oh, we brought in Jalen Brunson, a new face. We made the playoffs. It's like,
Oh, so when it's cool to like the team, you root for them. When it's
Just
not
brought in
cool, you
Malik
don't.
Neighbors, who's going to be our.
it's the same awful quarterback. That's
This is the Mets. Like the Giants, the past 10 years have definitely. I don't even know if it's true.
What is this?
2 playoff series wins for the Mets in the last decade.
I mean, look, I'm not going to complain about having 2 Super Bowls, but since 2011, the Giants have probably been like the bottom 5 team in the NFL.
For sure. They've had the worst record in the NFL the last like.
Like
5 or
that's
6
just the
years.
reality of it.
They've been bad. They've been.
Okay,
Knicks
they only
been
have.
horrific-
All right, they
or
only
Giants
have one
been horrific.
playoff win in the past 10 years.
Who is that?
The
The Giants.
That was the Minnesota game.
Mets have 2.
That was Daniel Jones.
It's true. It's true.
It's Daniel Jones.
True.
The last playoff win in a decade.
Yeah,
so
a
you
lot of
should maybe
quarterbacks
like
have
it.
one playoff wins. Tim Tebow had a playoff win.
That he did.
Correct. It's absolutely correct.
Still incredible.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Insane.
And the 2 playoff wins for the Mets came in the World Series run.
Yeah.
talk about how shitty it is to just be meek. All his teams.
This segment is that.
That was so mean.
But honestly,
I would sponsor that segment if possible.
I'm saying that it hasn't been any better to be me. It's literally been the same.
At least
The Yankees just have
the Yankees
won a
have
few
been
more.
bad.
The Yankees have won more playoff
At
games.
least we've been close to at least get a little excitement. He's had no excitement in a decade.
Ohio State's giving me some excitement, I guess.
Yeah, but
They ripped my-
they ruined it last
They
year.
usually rip my soul out
Yeah, last year was.
Can't come back from last.
in devastating.
How many did they need to win in a row to overtake last year's feeling? 2?
Ohio State to win a natty?
Yeah.
If they won it this year, it's all good. How could you? If you're the champs, like how could I be upset?
I know, but I think you need 2 because looking back on it.
Nah, if you got the belt, you got the belt.
Okay.
If you're the champ, if you got the strap over your shoulder, like you're the king.
Yeah, but rivalry against Michigan, you could have one up over that.
But they could blow Michigan out this
But
year.
I even said
Michigan's
they asked me
three
about this
times in a row
the
now.
year when we
No.
2 years ago with Stroud when we missed that kick against Georgia that we would have won the Natty by $1 billion. If they lost to Michigan that year, obviously. If they win the Natty, I would have been like, "Fuck you, I don't give a shit."
Ev, I was just going to ask you, what hurt more, that loss versus Georgia or watching Michigan win national title?
Probably the loss.
Really?
Because I knew deep down Michigan was going to win.
More, that's a good question. Like,
No, that's a fair question. I think it's a fair
Say
question.
anything to you? I said to Ev. I said
Probably
Ev.
the-
I said
probably the
really
loss.
to Ev. I had nothing to you, man.
Especially because
I
you
said
want.
I thought Michigan would be harder to watch. I think watching my rival win something's harder than my team.
No,
would.
but you want to know why it was worse? Because I watched Michigan earlier that day lose as like 9-point favorites in embarrassing fashion.
You knew you were
JJ McCarthy threw like 2 pick sixes. He sucked. They lose to TCU. Everyone thinks Georgia's going to beat the shit of us. We have them on the ropes. We're up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. We have a field goal at the buzzer to win the game with a kicker who had not missed a kick all year. Not only does he miss it off the foot, it's 1,000 feet left. It never had the second it touches foot,
Wasn't
the game was
close.
over. There never even was a point where I stood up and like, oh my god, is it going to go in? Like it was just
Also,
the
that-
second he kicked it, it was
it
like
just-
How far was that field goal?
50 yards, 49, 50
just
yards.
turned 12 o'clock, right?
I didn't even know.
Yes,
that.
it was
I
right.
didn't-
It was right at New Year's.
I didn't even know until the next day
Yeah.
that they said basically the kick was
Yes.
exactly.
I
Right.
remember watching.
And then that a week later,
It's like the fucking pumpkin.
it was disgusting. And then a week later, I had to watch Georgia win the national title 65-7.
yeah.
We would have beat the brakes off TCU, absolutely smashed them. And it was a game where Marvin Harrison Jr. gets hurt. Where if he doesn't get hurt, we probably definitely win the game. We should have won it regardless. We had a corner fall down and give him like a 75-yard touchdown.
Ev doesn't think about this at all.
No.
Thank God.
8 to 10 times a day. That natty will haunt me forever. That was ours.
That's your Roman Empire.
And it drives absolutely because it's the one that Stroud's. It annoys me that Stroud's going to go on and have all the success in the NFL. He's going to be great. I hope
Not
he
this
wins.
year, but he'll be
I hope he wins Super Bowls. Even if he doesn't, he's going to do amazing things in the league. And everyone's going to be like, he never beat Michigan. How did Ryan Day never win a national title with him? It was right there. He did everything. He threw for like 1,000,000 yards against this Georgia defense that stopped everybody. He was torching them. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen.
It's still fair to
it
say
sickens me.
Ryan Day stinks.
It sickens me. He has the best winning percentage in college football as a head coach.
We know what Evs is, but I'm curious for you guys. What's your Roman Empire sports moment? Like a moment that you keep thinking about. It could be random, it could be big, but what's your Roman Empire?
For a
sports
long
moment?
until Aaron Rodgers, I thought about the Trevor Lawrence thing, like how we missed out on him. That really frustrates me. Like for a couple years after.
That's
that.
why it's
like
the
a lot.
Jets
Think
fans
about
are the
it.
best because they think about when they were terrible.
No, but think about that.
It would change your whole thing.
The Roman Empire is a game they won.
A game they won. Yes.
They wish they lost.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And also,
That's
Trevor
perfect-
Lawrence
perfect
isn't that
Jets.
good either.
Well, yeah, true, but we also just dealt with Zach Wilson.
He's still pretty good. I wouldn't throw out
Give me Trevor Lawrence over Zach Wilson. You know, Trevor Lawrence with one leg over Zach Wilson.
I wouldn't throw him in the trash can either. He could go light it up this year, and that wouldn't shock me at all.
Wait a second. You don't think Trevor Lawrence is good, Phil?
I think you'd be in you'd be in a worse spot now if you had the first overall pick with Trevor Lawrence.
He just thinks Patrick Mahomes.
You're
couldn't
wrong.
disagree
What's
more.
yours, Smitty?
That's not
You're
true.
wrong.
They're all childhood based. Joe Carter home run. Rondé Barber. Last game at the vet. That's probably number one. I have a sneaky one. That actually has to do with DraftKings. I was in DraftKings Millionaire Maker for fantasy. It's 2014. Maybe it wasn't the Millionaire Maker. I forget what it was. But I played daily fantasy football. We had a podcast with John Bales, and it was a Snow Bowl for the Eagles, and the Eagles blew out the Detroit Lions at home in the snow. It was great. One of the most beautiful football games to ever watch. But Brent Selleck, who I had in my lineup, decided to, instead of scoring a touchdown, to slide in the snow, the 5-yard line, and it would have been quite a day. I like you hear my voice, like that was a bad one.
That's tough.
That was a really, really, really bad one.
That's tough.
And it wasn't even like to stop the clock to like put it down. They were blowing them out. And all you had to do was score. And in fantasy, that's 6 points. It's a lot. And it moved the charts a little bit.
Do you have one, Marty?
Mine was more Luis Gonzalez. I cried when he hit that bloop hit against Mariano Rivera. And
Obviously,
then
the Red Sox come back too.
I that one I don't think about because that one's completely out of my brain. And then
about that one
honestly, what I do get upset about sometimes is when Zion lost to Michigan State. Is when I get upset about that because they had the best team they had in a long time.
Oh God, I
Should have lost to UCF though.
I almost I was a basket away from getting a taco on my ass for Taco Fall.
I have two. Mine is Dayton 2020. I think about every single morning. It's like the first thing I think.
That's worse because you never really.
Yeah.
They didn't even disappoint you.
You have the what if. There's always that.
Rudy Gobert disappointed.
And the second one is so random, but I think the trajectory of my life would have changed. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled against the Bengals after the Patriots were down 28-0, and if they won that game, they would have been in the playoffs. Mac Jones would have had two playoffs in 3 years, and I think that everything changes. I think about that fumble more than anything.
What would have changed?
It's just like Belichick doesn't get fired. The hot seat doesn't exist last year. Maybe the confidence is a little bit different. Everything changes.
Dude, there are so many moments like that in every single team. And
I will say the Patriots were on the right side of a lot of those breaks for a lot of years. Mac Jones. If you look at that run, and you look at every single game, like I watched them, there were so many breaks that just didn't go our way, like Ramondre Stevenson fumbling or drop passes into interceptions.
To you.
Thanks, I didn't notice. Drop passes into interceptions. So I mean, I'll take it.
I completely forgot about Ben Simmons' shot and Ryan Howard tearing his Achilles. Like, you just ruined everything, Dukes. You ruined the day.
Mac Jones' life got significantly better going to Jacksonville.
I actually don't think Dukes is wrong with the Mac Jones thing. I think there's just a narrative thing naturally that would be you'd feel differently if he had made the playoffs twice.
Of course.
Your arm talent would be the same, but your side key would be so different.
There's just something about it. You would just view him a little different. I don't think he's totally off on that.
On the Giants HBO the Hard Knocks thing, they were going through like the first round quarterbacks that have worked out or have been on the same team. Yeah. It's not great.
There's almost none. There's really a few.
Dukes, if there's any way, can you look at the last 10 years?
It was
number one first round quarterbacks. So like obviously Mahomes.
I say Mahomes has been okay.
Mahomes, like Josh Allen,
Burrow, Josh Allen,
Lamar.
So all the stars, obviously. But then there was like Paxton Lynch, Kenny Pickett,
Rosen.
You got the Jets guys, Darnold. Zach Wilson,
Darnold. There's
Jameis and Mariota.
Terrible.
We have some real life controversy going on right now. This instant, France and Japan are in a battle for the Olympics in basketball. It's like 3 minutes left. France is down 1. And Rui Hachimura was tearing them up. 24 points, 3 of 5, 3 points. Playing for Japan, by the way. Yep. Playing for Japan. And he got ejected by basically tugging Rudy Gobert's arm down a little bit in the fourth quarter. We can't show the clip, but I don't know. The Olympics are in France.
Little France action, yep.
Yeah.
That's
it's very interesting.
I know who they have two on that Japan team? Tominaga.
Oh, Tominaga's on it?
The Nebraska kid who's an unbelievable shooter.
He's the Japanese Steph Curry.
Yeah, he's on the team. I got a few guys.
Unbelievable.
Good for them even having a Rui.
Yeah.
Legit like NBA starter.
Tearing up.
Solid player.
But yeah, first, like, it's so funny where it's like the draft really is a crapshoot.
Especially the quarterbacks.
Look at this right here.
Yeah, Mac Jones, Fields. That whole draft was sucked. The 21.
Goff
These are the ones that the guy deemed successful.
I love how he spells Mahomes.
deemed successful.
Yeah, he said there have been 30 quarterbacks drafted in the first round in the last 10 years. I would consider the following 12 to be successful NFL starters. This was 6 months ago.
So
on
look,
Reddit.
Baker been thrown around.
Baker counts. No, he's successful.
No. This is all successful.
Definitely
I'm
successful.
saying,
But not with that
Browns.
team, I guess, if you want to.
I was saying like same team. Like, that's what I'm saying. The draft is such a crapshoot where it's like Jordan Love. Listen, he's played 1 year. Great guy. I think he's great. I think he's
He's working out.
Very
Two
good.
has worked out.
Can you say that Baker wasn't successful with the Browns?
I think he was.
was.
Very
I think he was
successful.
too.
was.
I think he
I
was
forget.
I'd say he wasn't.
I was talking to a
Got him their only for comparison to a normal NFL success story. Probably not. but
Also, I would say
comparison for a
this.
Cleveland quarterback
1 yard away.
Absolutely.
1 yard away from going to the AFC Championship.
But when they drafted him, if you said that this is what's going to happen, they'd be like, we would not take that deal. That's not been
But I
successful.
also think they fucked up, like not keeping him.
No, I'm not arguing
That's
that.
right.
I'm just simply
Look,
saying.
they
just-
gave a guy twice so much money who I would take Baker over Watson right now, like that.
Oh, me too. And I bet they would too. But I'm just
I
simply saying,
think
if you just
they-
look at just only the resume, be like, is this what you'd expect from drafting number 1 overall? You'd be like, no way.
about
I
what
think
never
they-
take that.
they
their
thought it-
success has been too. Like I think some Browns be like, we'll take anything right now.
I think they thought his ceiling. They didn't.
I think so.
I don't know,
I think his
man.
ceiling is a little higher than they gave credit, and I also think they threw him in the trash too fast. For he had the one bad year where he played through a torn labrum, and I feel like he toughed it out. He didn't play as well. He ate a lot of shit for it, and it almost tanked his career. Basically, like brought himself back.
I agree 100% everything you said.
And he should have. If he's still the Browns quarterback, I think they're in a better spot.
I agree.
I agree with that too. But with the Browns, and it's not Baker's fault. The Browns, like you said, threw him in the trash too early.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about this weekend. I forget. I was talking to some Browns fan somewhere, and it came up, and I was like,
Roman
should have
Wilson.
stuck with him.
That's so awesome. Like,
What?
just shooting the shit with some Browns fan randomly.
It was at my dad's golf course. That's where it was.
awesome.
It was a guy because I was running Ohio State. He was like, "Oh, I went to Toledo. I'm a Browns fan." And I think that's how we started talking.
But
About
me,
it.
Tommy, and Nick Mulcahy this weekend played the name game for baseball, NFL, and NBA. And I think it's still going on.
The game was awesome.
For 3 days.
You guys do first.
You would be
You
loved.
do the first first letter last name,
Yeah, so like
first letter
Derek
of
Jeter,
first name.
Jorge Soler.
Yes,
like something
yes.
like that.
And I would, say Sam Hilliard.
Maybe we should just do one
Henry
pick.
Bond.
Central.
Just the fact that there are no repeats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe one pick central. We just
We just go into
1 hour.
we do it until
like we'd be. I think we'd be able to last a week.
It'd be incredible if we did that.
Also, I love when you do the reverse and you just say like 7 Steve Smiths in a row.
Oh yeah, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds, like that.
Steve Smith, I'm like Giant Steve Smith.
Yeah. Steve Smith Jr. that's guy shit right there.
Oh, it's the best.
It's guy shit.
So
Do you want to see the other quarterbacks?
Yes. Teddy Bridge. So this is okay. So this is all unsuccessful.
And I still think some of these are up for debate.
So 1 through 9. Blake Bortles at least got.
Yeah, Bortles is like tough because they went to the playoffs a couple times.
Yeah, Jaguars were.
They
a joke for a
had
while,
some
too.
success with him as a quarterback. He's the one I'm like,
Manziel for sure.
yeah.
These are all unsuccessful picks. This is not what you would have hoped for when you drafted a guy.
Bortles is the only one I would make an argument that
AFC.
you didn't get the longevity out of him you probably wanted, but there were some damn good years with him as your quarterback.
Like he was. He
went to the AFC
he was
Championship
kind of a controversy away from getting to a Super Bowl.
He should have been in the Super Bowl. I'm
Yeah.
telling
That's
you
what I'm
that
saying.
right now.
Like he was like
Let me ask you a question
Bortles
about
is
Daniel Jones.
solid.
Honestly, he has a year this year and wins a playoff game. Is that unsuccessful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that what you would have signed up for when you drafted him? 2 playoff wins?
It's just more the
No way. Especially if you had him for
tough
like
to
5 years, you would
it's-
never sign up for
Oh,
that.
I'd sign up, but it's just the team. The team he's been given has been really bad.
He's been given good defenses.
The offense,
decent,
Offense been
awful.
The line's been
really bad.
This
Offensive.
year we have a good offense. Well, a better offensive line.
I don't even know if it's still going to be like.
It's better.
We just have a really, really good left tackle. We have an elite left tackle, and the rest of the line is like.
Runyon's good.
No. Now I think Runyon's a good starter. Like Runyon's good. I think we're putting
We
the
signed
pieces
another
together.
guy today.
Luminaire, I think, could be decent. We signed Van Roten today.
Yeah.
Who's been like a starter. He was like one of the better pass blocking offensive linemen in the league last year. So
This is the worst
they're
part
trying to piece it together.
of the NFL because like people getting hurt. Like the guy from the Cowboys, I think, got hurt. I think it was him, torn ACL. Someone had a torn ACL. Was a very good player. One of their
DNs, I think.
Yeah, Roman Wilson got hurt today.
I didn't even see that.
The Steelers, he got carted off.
Oh shit! Really? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I don't know what they didn't say what the injury is yet, but
I actually hate him as a person, but I think he's a good football player.
You know what's really pissed me off online?
I liked him.
He's a good player.
You know what's pissed me off online? The Giants falling like a little bit forward. I see like when a quarterback just throws an interception and one fucking beat reporter tweets it out.
No, ML
like,
football or like
dude, it's
Stop
beyond frustrating.
Dude,
you see the one a reporter literally was keeping track of like interceptions in camps.
We haven't talked about the onside kick rules.
Oh, I took a screenshot of that.
What the shit?
Dude, so stupid.
Why even kick off anymore?
So stupid.
Why?
So stupid. So I'll read them out. Onside kicks are illegal before fourth quarter. What? That rule itself is so stupid. The team must be losing to kick an onside kick. And then the team must announce intention to kick an onside kick ahead of time. What are we doing?
Why? Why?
For safety, I guess.
It has to be safety. But like,
well, that's so the whole point is for the onside kick to be
surprise.
No one knowing it's coming.
Yes.
But nobody's going to be like the percentages of recovering an onside kick were basically impossible
before this.
Like why not do what was the rule? Well, that they put out there, like you give one shot from the 20-yard line, and if you
it was said they would do like basically you would consider like a 4th and 20 or 4th and 25, and that's your play to basically get a possession.
Yeah, why not?
Which I actually don't love either, because if you have Patrick Mahomes, I'd go for it every time. Well, Patrick Mahomes on 4th and 20, your averages are your percentages.
It does benefit teams that are more pass first than rush first.
But it gives you a better chance to make it a competitive football game than an onside kick.
I'm okay. Like again, it'd be for a fan. That's great. Like that would fuck so many people over sometimes. But like onside kick is that. What's the percentage? How many onside kicks were recovered last?
Well, that's the thing I was going to say too is how many.
3, I feel like 4.
There's a few more than that probably, but probably not.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
So.
Then a whole year, you think?
I think it was literally like.
Yeah, you might be right. I was going to say I was going to guess like maybe 5 for the season.
In our lifetime, we're going to see kicks removed from NFL. Like they're not going to do kickoffs.
Well, they should be at this point.
There's new kickoff rules this year.
Right,
it's the XFL where they both stay in place
until they catch it,
and they're closer to each other.
They keep making it like they're going to eventually just like 30 years from now it's going to rule out.
I think this is going to potentially be big. I think this might make the return game actually like better, because I think they might actually start really returning them and not just like.
I hope so. It's
what
boring.
Exactly qualifies as an
Whoa!
I did not know that.
Me, calm down.
That was a Rico TikTok from Healthy Debate. I didn't know that.
Was it really? What was Rico so upset about?
No, that's
it's a video.
Do you want to watch it?
I don't know.
No.
Kind of.
It's just his coach.
Oh, it's not Rico.
What was Rico's? Rico was like upset about that, right? Which is insane.
Yeah, he was mad about it.
About a coach yelling at his team?
Yeah, like a bunch of like younger kids.
Dude, that's every coach did that when we were younger.
Right. Yeah, we all disagreed with him, and then he came to our side.
Oh, all right.
The guy who also
sounds like Rico's going soft.
Screams at everybody is upset about that.
He's mad for a football coach yelling at his that's you get yelled at.
I actually missed that because my worst coaches were the ones that were friends with us.
And football ones, in my experience at least, absolutely yell the most.
Yeah,
they yell way more than baseball.
Way more than
basketball.
My college
they chew your ass out.
My college coach came to one of our parties. We were horrible because we didn't give a fuck.
My offensive line coach in high school used to literally tell me he was going to knock my dick in the dirt.
Yeah.
If I didn't move faster off the line.
And guess what? You moved faster off the line.
Yeah, I definitely did. If I thought I packed it in, like didn't hustle enough on a play, I was getting literally physically kicked in my ass.
I remember there's like a 75-year-old football coach in 7th grade that told this kid on my team he was going to tie his nuts together and make him run. And it's like, could you imagine? Like, now, think of it like nowadays, like a 70-year-old coach saying that to a 13-year-old is crazy.
Also, the funny football coaches.
That was just par for the course.
Yeah.
Literally just
I'm going to tie your nuts.
And he's just, like how much of a piece of shit he really is.
And you knew that he was being like PC then. He's like, these fucking pussies can't handle what I used to say.
Football coaches are always the funniest too when they're not trying to be. Like he says, like I'm gonna like tell him I'm getting like shit in my helmet, and he's like dead serious. He's like, you're gonna make me have a fucking aneurysm. Miss getting yelled at.
Let's go to our picks here. Ev, what do you got?
I'm taking over in the Blue Jays Orioles over 8.5. I'm taking the Yanks again. I'm running the Yanks back into the Phils.
I'm going Yankees as well. I'm going with the Cubs with Steele on the mound. I'm going with the Blue Jays plus 180 against Corbin Burns. Bassett's good. He's been fine.
He's been fine. I don't know.
Plus 180 is not like I'm obviously throwing a little fucking Hail Mary. And then I'm going to go with the over in the Angels and Rockies game. Clemmer.
My pick of the day is over in the Nationals Diamondbacks. You got Corbin pitching for the Nationals, and then Ryan Nelson for the Diamondbacks. He's horrific in Arizona. And over 9, I think it's a small enough number. I'm on the Mariners today. Luis Castillo. I know the Red Sox have been hitting the shit out of the ball, but I think your momentum is only as good as that day's starter. Is that what Earl Weaver used to say? And then I'm on the Orioles run line today. I think Corbin Burns has been pitching lights out. It's going to continue. And I think that Blue Jays roster could be a little bit outmanned. They might lose 2-3 guys today in trade deadline stuff.
Yeah, I'm on Orioles run line as well, and Dodgers, Padres under 7.5. Glasnow and Waldron.
Oh, last thing I wanted to say, Caleb Williams. Stories coming out that he told his teammates to clean up the locker room more, so the custodians and the people that have to clean it up after them to be more mindful of them. Listen, great gesture. You're throwing your teammates under the bus.
No, you're not.
I look at that as a leader thing.
I like that actually. I like that a lot.
You like that a lot.
I like it. No, I think it's good, but to make it public, I don't know.
He didn't name anyone's name. He didn't say, Joe Smith is really dirty, gross.
He didn't make it public. If someone heard it and he did, I'm fine with that. If he was like, I've told my teammates today, I wouldn't like that. I liked the gesture of, yes, you should clean up, you shouldn't leave garbage on the floor for other people to clean up, obviously. I'm just saying, I think it depends on the way it came out.
I think as long as you don't name names, it's okay.
Yeah?
I think so.
All right. Anything else?
France tied it on a 4-point play.
Yeah, I mean, something's up.
What? On a
Something's up
4-point
here.
play?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were down by 4 with 15 seconds to go and just tied it.
Okay, that's insane.
Hold on, let's do it play by play. There's 5 seconds left. Japan has the ball.
They steal it in 3, France.
Wembayama rebound, overtime.
We had a classic on our hands.
I mean,
I should really get into this announcing.
put it
Japan.
put it on my card. Live France money line right
what
now.
a call by Duke.
I did play-by-play for Dayton women's basketball against UConn.
Really?
And I made up so much shit. And I was calling this girl a 4-time All-American, but it was her first game ever played. and we found out after the game.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. I was like, she's averaged 28 over her career. She's a 4-time All-American.
How'd she look?
She looked awful. But against Dayton women's basketball, she looked like a fucking WNBA pro.
All right, that's a show. We'll be back tomorrow. Yak is up now.